RANTS. Now, just to be clear, I have never said anything about Mark Collett publicly before. I don't know him, but I do know but some of the things that he has said. Now he's on video. Videos are out there. You can go and find them. On video, he has compared me to Angela Merkel and Theresa May, and essentially agreed that we childless women shouldn't have any power. However, it is mostly my sexuality, that which he refers to as degeneracy. And he uses my sexuality, which is nobody's business, by the way, including his. It's no one's business but my own. He uses my sexuality to try and persuade people that I'm a fraud. And this is all, by the way, I never said a word about him. As I said, he calls my sexuality degeneracy. He's using a picture of me, not at a gay pride march, as he'd said on one of his videos. I've never marched in a gay pride march. I don't have any time for gay pride. If I wanted to see trans women show their bits and bobs, I don't. So I've never marched at a pride parade. So it was a Gays Against Sharia, and I have taken part in 2 Gays Against Sharia rallies. And this is a group set up by Tommy English, who used to be the leader of the gay branch, gay unit, whatever they were called, of the EDL. And he set up Gays Against Sharia, and he asked me to speak at 2 of the events that he'd organised. And I said yes, and I went and I spoke, and none of this have I ever tried to hide. You know, it's as if you've exposed me speaking at a gay rights rally. Well, okay, you're absolutely entitled to think what you like about homosexuals. You are absolutely entitled to think what you like about who should or shouldn't have power. But what I said was true, and the hysterical responses to me, you're lying, no, it's not. The other, I'm sure. And on the woman thing as well, I'm sure Mark remembers his long chat with Caelan Robertson and others. To his great credit, Caelan has apologised to me for that several times. And I've accepted his apology, it's fine. So they're all out there, you can go look. But the point is, he's using my sexuality to say that I don't care about Britain. I don't care about the people of this country. All I'm interested in is what he calls my special interest group. So what he's doing is saying that you shouldn't trust me, that I'm a fraud. And he's doing that, and he's basing that upon not what I say, not my politics. He's not discussing or criticising political policy. He's attacking me personally, saying I'm a fraud, I shouldn't be trusted, and solely based upon my sexuality. So there's that. So what I said was true. But let me go on. And on the comment of Laura Towler is his deputy, I've got to say, well, maybe he's had a rethink about women and power, or maybe it is, and I quote Laura Towler herself, "Women make great propaganda," end quote. Okay, so that's that bit, and I think some people need to learn what a straw man is and need to learn what smearing is as well. Smearing is saying something that isn't true. So what I've said, people have said to me, you're smearing him in the way that you've been smeared. No, I'm not, because it's true. And so to bring me on to the main point of this, and the main reaction among the hysteria in the comments, the main reaction has been what I said about going back to Germany in the 1930s. Now, I'm being accused of smearing Mark Collett by saying that we don't want to go back to Germany in the 1930s. Now, once again, and I shall quote him directly, you can call me a Nazi sympathiser, I am. He has expressed that Germany in the 1930s was a much better place to live than modern Britain. And as I said, he describes himself as a Nazi sympathiser. Now, again, he may have changed. He may have radically altered his views. But given the attitude to gays and to Jews, I strongly suspect that that hasn't changed, that he still does consider Germany in the 1930s to be his, an ideal, a society we should aim to be like. And those are his own words. So you'll have to ask him whether he's had a change of heart about that or not. But here's the thing that really screams, and the thing that I will never ever be a part of because it's completely crazy, is the Jewish thing. I mean, every second comment is something about Jews. I'd said I don't believe that Jews are plotting my downfall in their basement, and someone replied, well, then they're not looking at the evidence. I thought, oh, for God's sake. Let me tell you something about Nazism, first of all. Nazism is not British. Sympathy with Nazis is not an expression of British patriotism. There are men still alive in this country who fought the Nazis. There are people in this country who have parents, grandparents who fought and died against the Nazis. The Nazis carpet bombed this country and killed British people. It destroyed British towns, and it was an assault, the ultimate assault on Great Britain and its people. To be Nazi sympathetic is about the least British thing I can imagine. Britain is a free country. It has fought against totalitarianism and authoritarianism and brutality before, and will do so again. And this is where it's interesting, isn't it? Because this is where the left and that horseshoe theory, where the far left and the far right meet, is on this hatred of Jews. Now, they may hate Jews for different reasons, but it is this hatred of Jews. First of all, British people are not going to vote for Nazis. They're not going to vote for Nazi sympathy. It is a staggeringly un-British thing to do. But they're also, if you're obsessed with Jews, if your platform, and it seems to me across platforms, the argument against, the argument is that she's a Jew lover and Jew this and Jew that, and Jewish conspiracy theories, which I have for years asked for evidence of anything at all that shows that the Jews are responsible for all the things going wrong in the world. I've asked for evidence time and time again, and there isn't any. All there is conspiracy. And the people who will say things like Israel funds this and Israel funds that, so Israel is funding mass immigration to the West. I don't know how that's working, but the people who tell me that Israel is funding this are the same people who tell me that Israel is funding me. So I know it's nonsense. If you are going to occupy yourself with Jewish conspiracy theories and expect the British people to take you seriously, to trust you, to not fear you, this will create fear. People will be too scared of you. It's just so extremely, provably wrong and nonsense that the Jews are behind all of this. I mean, let me tell you about my years in the Labour Party. And this is something that people don't want to admit, but it's white Europeans who are driving the mass migration into Europe. It's self-hating white Europeans who are primarily behind this. They have been so guilted into believing that they are the most evil people in the world, and the only way they can redeem themselves for their awful whiteness is to give away their countries. They are trying to get rid of the guilt by handing our countries away to strangers from the other side of the world. It is the white left-winger and frankly the voters. Tories and Labour have been pushing this mass immigration for a long time, and people keep voting for them. So as hard as it is to accept, this is a sickness among the majority in this, and you are going to have to, as For Britain proposes, change the school curriculum and teach British children to like themselves and their country again. What you do, I mean, what we are proposing as a party doesn't need all this frightening stuff. And I'm going to get onto the repatriation policy in a minute, but you don't need all this. This Jew conspiracy stuff just frightens people away. They're not going to hear much of what else you have to say. It darkens the image of those of us who are against mass immigration, but who are not Nazis or racist, but we want this immigration to stop. It darkens and tarnishes our image. It makes us all look like we believe in Jewish conspiracy theories, or that we have some irrational hatred of Jews. You tarnish the anti-immigration, the pro-Britain movement with these kinds of conspiracy theories. People won't take it seriously. They won't listen. So let me go on.
We will make America great again.